I'd like to call a meeting to order. Please stand for the invocation and pledge. Miss Allen, would you lead us in the Lord's Prayer, please?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Glad to have you. All right, we're going to begin with our approve the minutes of the January 5th Glades County School Board special meeting. We have a motion by Ms. Pierce.
Second.
A second by Ms. Allen. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the January 11th, 2024 at 5:30 workshop? We have a motion from Ms. Pierce.
Second.
Second, Ms. Clement. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a motion for approval of the minutes of the January 11th regular school board meeting at 6 p.m.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Allen.
Second.
Second by Ms. Prowant. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. All right, we have next on the agenda information presentations, presentation of the impact aid and hardening grants, and I believe that's going to be Mr. Gresson, our acting superintendent. Welcome to the role.
It's been an interesting week.
Yeah, I think we can stay. It's up to you.
Yeah, just kind of used to that. Okay, first we'll talk about the Impact Aid Grant. We talked about that a little bit just previously, but the Impact Aid Grant is a grant that comes from the federal government, and it is actually in place is actually in lieu of property taxes on certain federal lands. Impact Aid Grant goes to school districts that have like military bases that are located within their counties, or in our case, it would be the Seminole Indian Reservation, because we don't receive any property taxes from those federal grants. They give us a payment based upon the number of students that are enrolled in schools in our district. Really, that's how it goes. Number of students enrolled in our district, they give us a certain amount per student. If they have a disability, they give us a little bit more. In the previous years, we've received between $500,000 and $600,000. So it's a nice chunk of money for us. That would be money that we would be receiving as far as capital outlay money from the county. So we use that money for things like fixing roofs and fixing air conditioners or whatever needs to be done. It all usually goes back into that capital outlay fund. Any questions on that?
When you say we get money for every student that attends school in our district, does that include the charter school?
Yes, it does.
But it doesn't include private schools.
It does not. No.
Anybody else have questions? Okay, hardening.
Okay. School hardening grant is a state grant that every district receives. It's based on your population, and really when it went into place, I guess it was 4 years ago now. It was to help offset some of the costs of the Parkland Commission, some of the things that they were asking for all the different schools to do, whether it be security cameras, fencing, single point of entry, strobes, panic buttons, any of those kinds of things, because schools previous to Parkland really weren't built with all those safety features that were included. Over the years, we've purchased a lot of fencing, a lot of cameras, our panic buttons. We have a long way to go, but we use this money to help offset some of the costs. Since we're a very small district, we actually received the minimum from the state, which is $42,000. $42,000 isn't a whole lot of money, especially when you think that when I first started here, there was no fencing on the front side of the elementary school, and that was about a $60,000 ticket right there, just to put fencing up there, which that was very, very much needed, especially since that was an open campus, and you had a cafeteria right near the entrance gate with exterior bathrooms that anybody could walk into. So we took care of that right away. But every year, what we do is we do a walkthrough with the sheriff's department, with one of the administrators. We try and have fire safety there as well. We start looking at what safety things that we really need to have, and we put it in a report that I've actually given you that report. I guess it was back in October. So we look at our needs, and based upon those needs, I actually work on this grant because if the need isn't in our facilities walkthrough, then they won't approve it. So what we did is I actually based our needs the grant off our needs. We're looking at purchasing more cameras. We're looking at fixing cameras. But one of the things that I put in here also was for the switches that we put in. So we can reimburse ourselves for some of the costs of the technology that we just put in back in December. In order for some of our cameras, for many of our cameras to work, we need new switches. And so now that we have the new switches, now the new cameras can work. They're not all online yet, because that's a whole nother story that I'm working with a technology group with that's going out of business, and so I'm looking at other bids for other things. But for the most part, it brought most of our cameras that weren't working back online. So $42,000 grant, and I actually explain in the grant, exactly how we're going to be using that funding. So that's it.
When we first got that grant, it was over 100,000.
Oh yeah, it was. That's right. Yeah,
It's all the way down to that now. That's crazy.
Yeah, and when you got that grant, I remember that I was a paying yet at that time, but I know that there was a plan made with this company called ILS, and the plan was to have some of the basic stuff go in year one, and then we were going to add to it. It never got added to it. It wasn't when I got here. We started adding more things to it. But we have a long way to go to be in line with some of the other districts that have a lot of the bells and whistles that have that funding. But I feel very confident that our schools are very safe. We have all the things that we need. We have the fencing. We have the panic buttons. We have the wearables that the teachers or staff members can wear. They can also do a panic on their phones. In fact, the state came in and did a safety walkthrough back in April. They found a couple of deficiencies that we had, that we actually knew about, that we are able to fix. And we're probably going to have another walkthrough within this month. I got a call from someone from the Department of Education. They said, hey, we haven't forgotten about you. We plan to be doing some walkthroughs coming in February, which we definitely welcome. It's always great to have another set of eyes, looking from a different perspective, seeing some of the things that we can improve on.
So we do have the panic buttons already that the teachers can wear and match? Okay.
Yeah. But every school has those right now. When I gave them to the principals, the directions were they could check those wearables out. They have to sign a paper if they're going to check the wearables out, because they're about $150 to replace those. So many of the staff members have chosen to put it on their phone to do the app instead of doing the wearable, which really the app is much better, I think, because if you go on the app, if you do the wearable and you click it 7 to 10 times, it's going to call 911, Calvary's going to come, and that's what it was for. If you have the app on your phone, there are other options that you can push, like I need an administrator, or and really it pinpoints where you're at, or there's a medical emergency, we need to go into a secure instead of a lockdown. So there's different things that different options that you can have if you use the application on your phone.
Well, that's good to know. I remember we had one at a school I worked at, and it was, 5 presses for this and 7 presses for that.
Right.
And I was so afraid that so I wrote it on my tag, so that because you're going to be in a panic and you're going to forget 5, 7, what am I supposed to hit? So
Right.
it sounds like the app is much better.
I believe it is, yeah.
The only thing would be, do you have your phone on you at the time would be the
Right.
disadvantage, I guess.
And I'm thinking in this day and time,
Yeah,
like
That's
when
rare.
people go home to get their phone again.
yeah.
that most people carry their phones now. Yeah.
You're right,
Yeah.
absolutely. That was a good one.
I yesterday, I went to town with that yesterday, and
I was just telling Gene, I said, when I was younger, I had a baseball coach that I worked with, and he told me, he said, just wait, once you turn 40, you leave the house twice. I said, what do you mean by that? He says, you always forget something. You always go back, you always got to come back.
I'm 26 years past that, so.
So you're doing good. You're doing good. All right, anything else, Mr. Gressel?
I just wanted to thank you for all the work you've done to bring us up to this point. And you made the comment that we're behind a lot of districts, that they're ahead of us with this stuff. But I think we're ahead of a lot too.
Oh, we are.
I drive by, when we go up to our big weekend home, whatever you wanna call that little house, I drive by a brand new middle high school, Chiefland Middle High School, and it's a wide open campus. It's brand new, beautiful facility, and there are no fences. You could just walk right on that. I point it out to Dick all the time.
Yeah.
Look at that. Anybody could just walk in to that.
Well, when I talk about some of the things that others have, like we talk about single point of entry, but we have a single point of entry where we have a camera and a buzzer. Someone has to buzz you in. You have to actually show your ID before you get buzzed in. So we meet the requirement. In many places, though, once you get into the entryway, it's all walled off. There's bulletproof glass where the person is, the receptionist who's going to greet you. They've put extra money into just hardening that area. And when I talk about how we could do other things, those are some of the things that we could do. It's not that we have to do those things. Like in the new elementary that we're going to build, it will have a vestibule where first of all, people will have to get buzzed in. They'll come in. It'll be a separate area where people can't get into the school in any direction. They have to talk to the receptionist, and then they have to be buzzed through a door in order to get into the school. And they have like a restroom that's actually in that area, so that someone can't say, "Oh, my child needs to use the restroom," and now you let them through the door and into the nurse's office to use the restroom there. So I'm just talking when I say some of the things that other districts have been able to do. They have been able to build up a lot of those other things that we're still working on, but those are major expenses.
And we are getting metal detectors at the high
We
school.
are getting metal detectors. They have been ordered. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Awesome, so I don't think we have to take action, right, Ms. Smith, on that, okay? All right, we're gonna move to item 4, update on new elementary school. Back to you.
Oh, new elementary school update. So really, I don't have much of an update. What I mean is, I know that the architects, they did send plans to, I sent them all out to all of you about changing the footprint of the original school. moving the cafeteria to the west. And I think that, you know, when you look through that, you can see that that is a feasible and viable option that we could take up. You know, the thing about it is, you know, and we have a construction person out here, you can kind of probably talk about that too, but, you know, right now, the front of the school is going to be a 2-story building. And if you move the cafeteria up, I mean, you're going to now have a 1.5-story building, and so it's going to look, I mean, it's not going to be as aesthetically pleasing. I could say that. But, and also, in talking about that, by moving the cafeteria up, it's still going to cut some of our parking areas. It's going to cut 9 of our parking spaces out, which, you know, that was really the concern that we had as far as the original options, that if we were to get the 50 feet of our own property from the lease that we have right now, it would make it very easy for semis to pull in and drop food pallets off and stuff like that and get out. But there also was an option. There was an option 1, and I have that with me too if you want to look at it. Actually, I have it on a stick if you want me to bring it up. But option 1 of the original plan had us actually dropping off food from the north side, and that was going to cut about 9 spaces as well. So really, in my thoughts are, we're not really gaining anything by moving the cafeteria to the west. Yes, I mean, you're still going to be losing parking spaces. So you know, and so, I mean, the superintendent isn't here, so I really can't make a recommendation necessarily as to, you know, the direction that you want to go. I know that, you know, every week, every month that we keep putting this off, it's just putting off when the school will open. So, but we're probably, if we continue with the way we're going, we'll probably won't open until what, 2026 now. We won't be able to open, which, no, if we were going to open in 26, it probably took what, 27. So, but and if that's what we want to do, or we get it right, we can do that. So,
Mr. McKinley, have you had any progress with the EDC attorney?
I've spoken to him, and they said they would be open to whatever we wanted to propose. Attorneys are ethically required to say that. So if we have a proposition or, you know, an alternative solution that we want to offer to them, they will consider it.
Okay. I thought we already decided that. I thought it was, we would name them successor and they would give us 50 feet. Wasn't that what we
I don't wanna name
decided?
That's news to me.
Okay,
I want to break the contract.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm understanding are my marching orders.
County instead of them.
okay. So that could drag on for a long time.
Well, that's why we have a lawsuit.
So I believe, and I've made one mistake today, so I'm on a roll. But I think I talked with Brian and I asked the question, can we proceed with our plans, our getting our property ready, breaking ground, moving forward with building the school the way we want it, assuming we're gonna get the 50 feet, continue with this process with the attorneys, and if we don't end up getting the 50 feet, it's not, I mean, it just means we cut out some parking places.
right. And the answer to that is mostly yes. Okay, I say mostly yes.
I don't like that mostly
Mostly
in
yes.
there.
I'm gonna say mostly yes. And I say that because, you know, really the first thing we have to do is we have to get a survey done. We have to know where all that water is going to go off the roof. And once that survey is done, then we send that to, well, I guess it's Florida
Soft mud.
Water.
You're soft mud over here, aren't you?
South Florida Water
South-
Management.
Yeah,
Management.
not swift mud,
Swift
soft
mud.
mud.
Soft mud, yeah, okay. For their approval, and that's gonna take probably about 6 months. So in the 6 months, if we are still proceeding with in the direction of trying to get that 50 feet, that gives us time to be able to do that. If after the 6 months that we're at a stall, and we don't think we're gonna get that extra 50 feet, then we can do an addendum to the survey. It probably should only take about a month or two in order to get approval for that, since you're not gonna change the footprint of the school at all. All you're doing is changing the way that the driveway of the school.
Well, originally I wasn't in favor of that, but I've changed my position because I want us to move. So I didn't want to apply for a permit not having this issue settled, because I felt like that might not be a good plan, but we need to move. So I don't know what we need to do to get him to go ahead and get the survey and the permit. I don't know if Dr. Barfield is in favor of that, do you
She
know?
is.
Okay, do we need to vote on that? Can we give a consensus to say go ahead with that?
I think the board consensus would be adequate.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's really an operational
Okay.
decision how to get
Okay.
there.
Well, I'm in favor of moving ahead with the survey and the permit application ASAP.
I second it.
So, same.
Jean, you're nodding yes?
I already said go for it.
Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Clement, are you okay with that? Okay, so as long
Okay.
as, Dr. Barfield's in agreement, please start the survey permitting process.
I'll get a hold of them today.
And Mr. McKinley, please work on resolving.
There are a
So-
lot of ins and outs to this, but yes.
So let me make sure I understand, okay? So your talks with the attorney are to dissolve completely the contract with them and start over?
Yes, that's the direction I have been directed. That's where I'm going, is to,
Not to work out an agreement with them?
like him, I am obligated to bring any ideas that they present to me back to you. But they have said nothing. They got
Well,
nothing.
they sent the last agreement, right? The
Yeah,
ball's in
okay,
our court.
but can I say something about that?
Certainly.
Even if you were gonna jump on that agreement yesterday, it needs to be revised.
Right.
It is
Right, have you
in
done
need
that?
of effort. No.
Have you had a chance to do that?
No, the superintendent
Could you work on
is,
that?
no, the superintendent has told me that she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to have that in waiting at this time. She doesn't want to put energy into that.
So what's our next move?
We're preparing to file suit.
Okay, and the board understands that that's what we voted to do last meeting, right? To file suit, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So we're not working out an agreement.
they're trying to sneak in and.
I understand what
It
you're saying.
takes two
I
to
understand.
tango, Madam
I
Chair.
understand what you're saying, okay. So we're gonna apply for a permit that includes 50 feet, and we're gonna assume it's ours.
Yes.
And until a judge somewhere says,
One way or
can't
the
have
other.
it, if he says that, we're just gonna shift the parking and lose the parking and proceed. And it may only delay us a month or two to do an amendment to the permit.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
I would say there probably isn't, there's nothing that says that we still can't work out an agreement with the EDC.
As far as I'm concerned, that could happen at any time.
That's right.
My number is in the book.
We're not saying no to that.
Yeah, they know where to find me.
But we would take a look at what's being offered. I mean, what we can work on, and then it would have to come to you whether you.
And I thought that at that our last meeting, the decision was, you said to me, Mr. McKinley, you wanted to touch it, is what you told me, you wanted to touch it. And I thought you were gonna do the touches,
I
fix
had
it,
that, I had that idea, but that's not consistent with what administration.
what we
wants.
voted to do. We voted to not fix it. I'm not sure the board, they say they understand that we voted that, so I
thought
guess
it
we
would be a
did.
good idea to do
I
that.
misunderstood that.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I sort of did too. I thought it would be a good idea to have that club all polished up and ready to go in our bag.
Right,
But at this time, I am not putting any energy into that because that's not consistent with administration's plans. I am ready to do that on short notice, but I have not done it yet.
So if Dr. Barfield asks you to clean up what they gave us with the
Yeah.
changes you think we need,
Yes.
if she directs you, then you will send that to EDC's
Or the
attorney.
board could direct me to do that too. But that, I'm not hearing the board telling me to do that.
The only way I personally would agree to something similar to what they proposed would be to change the length of that. I don't like being committed to that lease for 60 more years. Not that I will be here, but I can't speak to what this school district would need to do 30 or 40 or 50 years from now. I never, had I been on the board at that time, I never would have agreed to a 99-year lease. I would have said, I'm on the board for 4 years. I'll commit to a 4-year lease, and then whoever's on the board when that turns out or runs out, they can decide what they want to do. So I'm only speaking for myself, and I know that they were adamant that they were not gonna change that, so that's why I voted the way I did. And if for some reason they change their mind and they're willing to reduce that 99 years to a reasonable amount of time, then I would entertain that as an option. Again, I'm only speaking for myself.
So, Mr. McKinley, in your cleanup of it, if you so get directed to do that, that's one of the considerations it sounds like this board would need.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay.
I don't see the likelihood of that particular outcome as being high at this moment, based on the feedback that I got from my conversation with the attorney.
I'm in agreement with you on that. Because I was at the meeting. I totally agree. I don't think that's gonna change. So anyway, all right, we're gonna move forward. Unless anyone else has anything they wanna say, any comment about the new school issue, EDC, any of that? Anybody? Don't wanna cut anybody off. Okay. We're gonna move to approval of the finance reports for the December 23 finance reports and warrant register. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the December finance report and warrant register.
Okay, motion by Ms. Purlant. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Allen. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we need a motion to approve the proposed amendments to the agenda.
Motion.
Have a motion by Ms. Clement,
Second.
second by Ms. Allen. All in favor? Any discussion, I'm sorry? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any public comment on agenda items? Okay. All right, we're gonna move to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Pierce, second by Ms. Allen. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 9.1, approval of 5-year work plan, 23-24 work plan. I guess we'll get a motion in a second and then you can present. Do we have a motion to approve? We have a motion by Ms. Pierce, second. Second by Ms. Proant. Any discussion? Mr. Bresson.
Okay. Well, every year we have to do a 5-year work plan to give give us really a path that we're going to go on for our spending for our capital outlay money and our impact aid fee money. It's also including this as well. And for the first time this year, there's also special facilities funding that's in there. And on the first page, if you look at that, we're looking at $17,824,681 for this year. For the next year, $17,191,151. And hopefully, when I complete this next year, under the 25-26, it'll show another $18.5 million. Right now, it's in the governor's budget for us to get a little bit more money. Also, it's in either the Senate or the House, one of the two. One of the two has it in there as well. So we're, right now, we as of last week, we thought it was gonna be in both, but I think one of them kind of cut back, so I'm not sure where we are with that, but we're looking good. How's that? We're looking good. So as you go through the 5-year plan, you'll see that, you know, I put in amounts for expenditures in HVAC, flooring, roofing. Like with roofing, I included the Moorhaven and the district office. Actually, it wasn't just me. Mr. Boyles had a big part in this because he's over more of the maintenance now. I'm over the new facilities, and so I really asked him a lot of questions about, you know, what expenditure he was looking at. You know, fencing. I had money for the West Glades Bus Depot, parking. That's the county and Moorhaven Elementary School. So these are all place markers on where we're looking at funds coming from. There are emergencies, you know, that happen, and so we have money in that, which is called maintenance and repair. That's just general maintenance and repair. It's not an air conditioner or roof or something like that. Other things that are on there in the 5-year plan, we know at some point we're going to have to work on the West Glades water plant, so that's projected for 27, 28. We're looking at drainage site improvement at West Glades, working at repairing some of our panic buttons. Years ago, the ag teacher asked if he could have a covered area where right at the back door of the high school ag building, and so we're looking at building something there but that's 4 years down the line as well. So, but you can see, like the electric bus chargers, that's in there. But that's actually going to be money that we work with Highland Electric, so they're going to be paying for those kinds of things. So we pay it, and they'll pay us back. So, but you know, as you go through there, if you have any questions on, you know, where we put amounts in and why those amounts were this much or this little, you know, I'm open to any kind of questions you have.
I had a question about the relocatable student stations.
Okay,
Is that a portable?
that's affordable. That's
Okay.
correct, yeah.
And it says, I mean, I thought we were trying to get away from using the ones at West Glades for
We are
next
going to
school
be trying
year.
to, and that's part of the discussion we're having with the pre-K and what we're going to do as far as open enrollment, because West Glades was, and actually there's a plan that West Glades is going to use those differently than for regular classrooms. So that's all in the works. You know, we were thinking about taking those out, but I'm thinking right now we're probably going to keep them, or at
Okay,
least
but
the
they
most of
won't be
them.
a regular classroom?
Correct,
Okay,
right.
and that will solve the immediate,
It will solve the immediate problems, yeah.
okay, good, good. Storage, I don't know.
Yeah, band needs a lot of storage and stuff like that. yeah.
Okay, anybody have any questions? All right, we've had a motion, a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're gonna move to item 10.1, approval to remove all 30-minute workshops that have been scheduled prior to board meetings and schedule workshops only when needed. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Prowat, second by Ms. Allen, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. 10.2, approval of changes in human resources, hires, resignations, and/or transfers. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Clement, second by Ms. Allen. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. General public comments. Okay, seeing none. Board member comments. We'll start with you, Ms. Furlong.
I don't have anything.
Okay,
Neither do I.
okay. No? Ms. Clement?
I do.
So we were in Tallahassee this week. We took youth from Moorhaven and the Seminole Tribe. We met with the Commissioner of Agriculture, Haley Tuck, and Graw's office. The amount of respect our kids had in Tallahassee was so well that they just complimented us on our kids on how well behaved they are. And throughout the state, I think that's something that you go to somewhere like that, you're expected to be well behaved. Well, seeing other counties throughout the state that don't act as well as their kids don't behave as well as ours made me feel so good to be from such a small district and our kids that behave so well that it's noticeable by other people. They complimented us many, many times throughout the whole entire state capitol. Excuse me. Our kids had so much fun. Two of our alumni started this 4-H trip and would go to the Capitol, and Senator Albritton pulled Lily Everett aside one day and said, "You have a talent. You need to use this." Well, she is now in Washington, D.C., and that all started from her 4-H experience, as well as Zorian Tuluk is in Washington, D.C. with Florida State University. So knowing that our 4-H kids are thriving through experiences like this and knowing that they can excel in anything they want to do, it's very positive to see that, and it makes my heart happy knowing that they're able to go further than just out of Moorhaven and in Washington, D.C. fighting for our small little district. So I'm happy to see our kids thriving and doing that. I'm happy that whenever we go places, people always compliment our kids, how well behaved and well mannered they are. I did see firsthand kids running through the old Capitol. I'm thinking, who are you? That I'm so thankful our kids know better than to do stuff like that. So we had lots of fun, and I hope that everybody can see their little pictures and experiences on Facebook. They were able to thank the senator and representative for their support on our school, and the Dole Connor building. They're able to supply funds for that so that they can expand on their STEM education. Everything was very positive on that end. We have a lot of support in Tallahassee for Glades County, so I'm very thankful to see that. That's all I have.
Awesome. Ms. Clement, thank you for taking time away from your family to do things like that with your 4-H kids and our 4-H kids here in Glades County, because without the adults making the sacrifice to take those kids, they wouldn't have those experiences. So thank you for your commitment to our youth. You do an amazing job with them. I'm super proud of you. So I just want to publicly thank Miss Lindsay Boyles, who's in the back hiding. I just have to say thank you to Lindsay. She, the Glades Education Foundation was having difficulty with their webpage. And so we kind of threw Lindsay under the bus and asked her to take that over for the foundation. And she has done a beautiful job. She's made, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Ms. Proant, but we have a whole page of our own on the Glades District website. And she's been working with Ms. Klein and getting it all up-to-date pictures and up-to-date sponsors. Lindsay, your expertise in that area is so appreciated by the foundation board. We are very, very grateful, because it was out of our wheelhouse. And when you said you love to make web pages, I was like, we're grabbing her.
Duly noted.
Yes, yes. So thank you very, very much. And I also want to thank you, and I want to report to the board about our library book project that Dr. Barfield had asked me to kind of help with. Lindsay has got people set up at both schools. She's got Moorhaven Elementary is going, West Glades is going. And I sent you an email this morning, Lindsay. I think it only has to go to K-5, but is that correct? Did somebody check me? Okay. Okay, so we only have to do K-5 libraries. Do you know if they're anywhere near being close to done at West Glades?
I spoke with the ladies at West Glades yesterday morning, and they only have 3rd and 5th grade left.
Oh, good.
They're breezing right along.
Okay.
So I expect that at least by the end of the week,
Okay.
I'll be able to put that information on the site.
Perfect, perfect. And you've hit some snags at Moorhaven Elementary, but we're working through those.
So we're working through that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much
Not a
for
problem.
that. I did want to tell you that the House is still not moving on the Senate's proposal to end graduation requirements. So I should have texted you to talk to Representative Tuck about that on your trip, and that would have been a great opportunity. But their stance is that it is not holding school districts accountable if we don't require graduation requirements. So the Senate's version was to require the test be 30% of the grade for the course, but the House doesn't feel like that's substantial enough, so anyway.
So where does it go from here?
It's looking like it's not, the House is not gonna take that part up, and so we won't get that this year, is the way it looks. I'm still hoping that, but I've asked our lobbyists about what we can do, should we get involved, and she's told me no, that they're doing everything they can do, and that there's nothing we can do. I have been trying to get in touch with Representative Tuck just to ask her for advice about what she thinks we might could do, but. And then, of course, we wanted to extend to Dr. Barfield, I don't know if you were gonna address this in your comments in a minute, Mr. Dresser, but, you know, Jackie, would you give us any
You got the update?
updates that you might have on Dr. Barfield's condition?
She is en route right now to Naples for surgery. They're going to do the surgery on the hernia, which is the first problem we're having. And then while they're in there, they intend to do exploratory surgery to determine what's causing the pain, because they have determined it's not from the hernia. So she goes in at 1:30. I can tell you exactly what she said. I will be going in today, I'm coming home tonight, I don't care what they say, I'll be back to work on Saturday. So, just know that that's not going to happen, and it's on recording now. I believe she will be held until tomorrow, but again, that was the original, when she was gonna have the surgery, didn't have the complications. So I don't see her coming home till at least tomorrow, but I will continue as I get updates. She's the communicator in her family. Her husband isn't, so it's been very hard for me to get information, much less accurate information, especially when it comes from her. But I have someone now that is literally keeping me up to date as to what's happening. So hopefully by sometime this evening, I'll be able to report that everything is good.
Are her children there?
I don't believe any of them, not to my knowledge. Kathleen had just been in, like she literally had just left Sunday, and then Monday she ended up in the hospital. So I don't believe she's here, but I know Thomas is there. I know Tom will be there. That's the only ones that I know for sure are there. And then this friend of hers that she's very close with.
So please tell her that we're still praying for her and we wish her the
And
best.
she wanted me to extend to everyone that she appreciates the calls, the texts, like I said yesterday. She was smart, which never happens, to turn off her phone, and she actually turned her phone off yesterday. So hopefully she rested very good last night, and today will go well.
Okay, well, please let her know that we don't want her to overextend.
I will.
Go ahead, Patty, I'm sorry.
I was just saying I didn't even try. You know, I mean, I commented on your things, but I didn't try hers.
Yeah.
I was afraid that she'd answer.
Yeah, well, no, again, I can tell you it's been very hard to, because she's not answering, which is good. She needs to concentrate on her right now.
All right, we're gonna move to any other comments by board members? All right, we're gonna move to the superintendent's report.
I actually have a couple things. First of all, I'd like to piggyback on Ms. Clement. Earlier this week, I was at a school and I was talking to a teacher. And that teacher was telling me how much that they enjoy the school. I mean, working there and just the environment. They said that they'd actually come from another county and taken a $20,000 pay cut to work at our school. Actually, one of the higher paying counties, of course. And this person had their daughter in one of our schools. And the person was saying at the school she was at previously, it was a very difficult school, and she had to kind of fight her way through, which is kind of alarming, but there are schools like that. But this teacher went on to just brag about what a great school that we have, what a great school system, how it's the way schools really should be, where kids can be kids and they don't have to worry about fighting to defend themselves and stuff like that. So it made me feel very good about, the things that are going on at our schools. So that was one thing. Guardian grant, just to let you know that Tier 1, I found out, was approved. So we're moving right down the line for this grant to be approved. That's Tier 1, they were telling me that was the biggest hurdle. So now we should find out, I would think fairly soon, if we get the grant. And it's looking really good right now. And then I was supposed to ask you about Challenger. Have you guys had ideas about what you're going to do about the parade, your thoughts? Are we going to ride a bus? Are we going to be in a Jeep? Or, how, I don't know, have you thought about that yet? Because I think we have one more meeting before Challenger comes, but maybe start thinking about that.
Well, I had asked if we have the smaller vehicles, not the big bus, are they painted and ready to go now, or are they in use?
We have a smaller bus. We held off on doing that because of budget. So we haven't, if the superintendent, pushes it forward,
Does it
it's
have
not gonna get
somebody
done
else's
time.
name on it still?
I'm sorry?
It's not Glades County that's on there?
No,
Okay.
but there's nothing on there. It's just,
Well, if there's nothing, then we can.
it's just green and white. Yeah, but
Okay.
the windows don't open, so, you wouldn't be able to throw your beads out and stuff like that. That's the only thing.
I liked
The
the
whole purpose.
float that we had at homecoming, the trailer, and I guess the girls here at the office decorated it, I'm not sure. I think that's who did it,
Mhm.
but it was open, we could see everybody, we could throw our beads, we could get off and walk if we wanted to. That's just my,
I think that was what Dr. Barfield wanted to do, I believe. She had mentioned doing that same thing for Challenger.
I just need to get a trailer and a truck. to pull
I
it.
think we have it. I think that belonged to the district, the one we used for the homecoming parade. Did you pull, Mr. Gressitt?
I don't know who that belonged to.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh,
It
Calinda's.
might be a district trailer, but it was somebody's truck, somebody that works here. We used their truck, I know, I can't remember
Was
who.
it Tara?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, I
She
don't have a
backed it up.
preference.
Yeah, she was the backer
Yeah,
upper.
she could do that.
I don't have a preference, so whatever you guys wanna do. Getting the buggy was a kind of a pain for me, so if y'all don't wanna do the buggy, I'm fine with that. So I had to wash it and clean it and all that stuff, so,
Jackie, did you make copies of?
Yes.
Okay, so the district is not going to reimburse me for the beads,
Right.
so there's 6 of us.
Explain that.
It's because they're being thrown out, so it's a consumable type item is why. So, and then I looked back in prior years and what's always been is the board members contributed.
Except for the last 2. Yeah, the last 2 years, it was great. Okay, so there's that, so then we just need candy as well.
okay. So that, we all owe Patty $100.
And I
You
can
guys got
go
your-
ahead and get the candy too, and that's, cause I
Do we
get
need
the.
candy too? Can we just do beads?
Yeah, because the little kids want candy. And like the 5-year-olds, they don't know, they don't,
How much is a candy?
it's cheap. I get the pinata stuffers, some of them have like the little jumping frogs and stuff like that, it's not all candy.
Okay. So you're gonna get that and then you'll let us know what we owe you for
I'll
that?
get
Okay,
And then it would just be one time.
okay. Kim, do you have a preference for what we do in the parade?
I'll smile and wave no matter what I'm doing.
I wanna wear my own clothes. I don't wanna wear a t-shirt that matches everybody else, I don't wear t-shirts.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to me what we do, I'll be
Okay.
there.
Well, is everybody, just tell Dr. Barfield do what she wants to do with the parade, is that okay with everybody?
Absolutely fine.
Okay, if she wants to use a bus, we'll use a bus, if she wants to use a little trailer, use the trailer, whatever.
I love it.
Something simple.
Everybody knew we were in school.
And so we'll just say we'll meet here at 9 o'clock, Challenger morning, to get on what, either the trailer or, that's kinda early.
Yeah, it's.
The parade's at 10, 9:30?
Parade's at 10, meet here at 9:30.
Okay,
And she'll confirm that at the next meeting.
okay, 9:30. Anything else, Mr. Gressy?
I would say that, first of all, I wasn't expecting being the interim superintendent quite so early, when Dr. Barfield had to go into the hospital, but I am I am very thankful that Dr. Barfield has allowed me to be in a lot of conversations so that I have a little bit of understanding of what's going on in maintenance and what's going on in HR and what's going on in student services and ESE. Of course, I don't know all that stuff, but it's helped me a lot just to have an understanding when people come and ask me questions about things. And I just want to say, the staff that work here at the district office, they're amazing. They got it going on. They know all the different things that are happening, and they're taking care of things. And when I get questioned about something, if I ask one of the directors, I mean, they know the answer. Say, hey, I've already taken care of that. This is here. This is there. Da 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 da. And so that I can answer those questions that people have. So we're very thankful for our staff. Great
Yes.
people.
I agree, yay.
Me too. They always answer all my questions.
So the kids are great and the staff is great, so everything's great.
Everything's great.
I hate to say anything else because I've said a lot, but to piggyback off of what Kim said, back in the day when I was principal and we went on field trips, it was always the same thing. Your kids are amazing. And, there were several years there that we had prom at Disney World. And they wouldn't let any other school have their prom there. But they would let us return because our kids were so well behaved. We have a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
Ever since I've been, since the kids were in school, I've always, I did a lot with field trips with Cutter. And again with Keegan, and they're every single time. So it's, it's always been, we've got good kids. And I'm glad, I was worried, what would happen, because you see what's happening everywhere else. But I'm glad to know that they're still the great kids. They've always been.
Amen. Ms. Clement?
I have one more thing, and I'm so sorry for bringing it up now, but in October, we brought up the professional development points available for teachers K through 5 that would be able to go on the educational farm tour. That was this weekend on Saturday. It was beyond expectations. It was amazing. I got to go on the trip with the teachers and be on their tour bus. I thought I knew about my counties, I thought I was pretty well knowledgeable about what goes on, but I was not even a third of the way clued in about what really is happening in our agricultural industry in our area. So that opportunity was amazing. The Florida Ag in the Classroom sponsored all of our teachers that wanted to go on this trip. They came home with Beefo Bingo, a garden and a glove for all their kids. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity and the teachers that took that chance to come on the buses with us. Anyone ever gets the chance to take the Henry County Farm Tour, I highly recommend it. I was born and raised right here my entire life, and I learned so much. It was amazing. So that's all I had to add. I got excited when I forgot about that. And our teachers were able to get PD points that they were able to get for that?
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm thankful
So
for
how
all
many
the
of
teachers.
our teachers went?
There were 50 spots on the bus for Hendry and Glades, and we also opened it up for Pinietta. I don't have that exact count on my hands right now.
But a good number of our
It
teachers.
was fantastic. We also had a farm tour, farm stand type thing where Sutton Milk, a lady that makes bagels in LaBelle, the Honey Girl, someone that does canned items was there, and most of them all sold out. So it was fantastic. It was in conjunction with the Henry County Farm Tour, so there were 3 other buses. But our bus was just the educators. They were able to network the whole time. It gave me chill bumps just seeing how much fun the teachers were having and learning, as well as myself.
Awesome, that's a great project. Let us know in the future if you need help or we can help with that in any way. We'd be glad to.
Just so you know, we had interviews for the high school football coach yesterday. We had an interview committee, and the committee will actually give their top choice to Dr. Barfield for her consideration, and when she comes back. So just want to let you know in case someone says, "Oh, who's going to be our football
How many
coach?"
applicants did we have?
We talked to 3 people yesterday. All great candidates.
Good, good. Thank you for that. I'd heard we lost our coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hate to see that, but. All right, is there anything else? Anyone? All right, I get to hit it.